It's a podcast?
It's
you
a
broadcast from here?
It's a RoboTaxi.
So you provide data back to Tesla? Is that what that
Yeah.
is? Ah, okay.
Me and a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Did they reward you for that?
Right.
Oh, I mean, I get to be a part of this beta process, to have the most advanced technology in a vehicle you can get on this planet, so I consider that a privilege.
Oh, there you go.
And all it takes is one tap, and it's on. What's funny is I haven't retested this highway entrance, but with this version, for some reason it doesn't see it. So I have to help it get on the highway, which is kind of funny. But yeah, here we go.
Is it doing it now?
Yep. Buckle up, baby.
It's the law.
Yep.
Just following the law.
Exactly.
Don't mind me.
Does the temperature feel okay for you guys?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
Cool,
good.
cool. Yeah, it seems to have sort of corrected itself on some of the very few errors I've seen on this current software build, so I wonder if it'll do this right. It's just like cruise control, tapping the brake or grabbing the steering wheel, take over that quickly, so it's very simple, very safe.
But it goes right back to autopilot again when you release control? Or do you have to set it, you have to press start again?
I just hit the stock again, yeah. It's as easy as off and then right back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And there it goes. It starts to get to the left lane. The same behavior it did last time. It's so weird. This build can't see this. System can't recognize this highway entrance. And that just went back to Tesla.
Yeah.
The previous build did see this and handled it.
Yeah.
But it did a lot of other things badly.
Right. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right?
Yep. Technically, I would have to count this as a failed
right there.
RoboTaxi trip, because otherwise you wouldn't have got to your destination. You probably would have just kind of went on a wild goose chase.
Uh-huh.
Last time I tried, I went both directions to see if it would get on the highway, and it didn't. It kept driving by, getting the other lane. Like, I don't know what you're looking at. I don't see it.
It's gotta get trained, right?
Yep. It's too funny. There it is. Where'd my music go?
So right now the car is just driving by itself?
It sure is. I just got my hands closed to intervene if I need
Just
to.
in case to
Yep.
intervene, yeah.
This is how a proper user of FSD and autopilot functions. You keep your hands close, your feet close, you're alert. You're not the idiots that are falling asleep reading a book, putting on Apple Vision Pro, whatever kind of craziness you can think of. It's interesting seeing how it deals with other humans, like this guy behind us who's honking, even though he sees that we have to slow down to get over. That was so brutal for you. I'm so sorry. Wherever he's got to go, man, I tell you what. We need to actually get over again. I think it's trying to find its opening. Because it took too long to get over.
It signaled.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it signals to get over.
Yep.
This is one of those moments, though. So we're on the highway, and the software isn't the same now as it was before. Like, so there's basically 2 different brains for city streets and then highway use. Come on, you gotta have the balls to get going, man. Let's go. Totally clear after this. Step on
the
it.
gas. Let's go.
Hit it.
Yep. Throttle.
I kind of feel like a driver's ed instructor.
Uh-huh.
Like, come on.
Yep.
Now, I can do 2 things without taking over. I can actually give it throttle. I can push it forward. So if it's at a stop sign or if it's lingering somewhere, I can goose it to kind of say, hey, let's go. Let's stop wasting time. Or I can use the turn signal to actually manually force it to make a move. But if I hit the brake or grab the wheel, I gain full control back.
Right.
It's like cruise control in a way.
Yeah, it's like a cruise control on steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
It won't be considered truly autonomous until they go through the red tape of getting legally reclassified as a level 3 or above system. So right now it has the same stipulations as cruise control or any driver's assistance feature.
Your kilometers per hour is messing me up.
Yeah.
102. Like,
Yeah, man.
You're not going 102 miles an hour.
We're flying.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing 100 miles an hour. Let's go. Now, I grew up with a love for the metric system, just being the science geek I am. Everything I follow, like in the space industry and all the sciences on the side, it's all metric.
It is bizarre that we are still on the standard system that we're on. It's ridiculous.
We're one of the few countries that holds on to it too. I just found out that one of my viewers in Canada was put down a list of all the different things where it's like short distances are in miles, long distances are in metric in kilometers. height and everything is imperial, but then like the weight of food is metric. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So
like,
yes.
how do
makes
you
no
function?
sense.
It does feel like speed would be one of the easier things to adopt.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be very easy to adopt that.
Well, and distance as well, because thinking about going, you know, a certain percentage of a kilometer on base 10, it's a lot easier than thinking about how you break apart a mile.
Exactly.
All the tools that are out there and things that aren't metric in that front, I can kind of understand that it's harder.
They get really close, but there is a difference between like a 3/8 and the equivalent in
They're
the
not the same size.
metric.
They're not.
I have rounded bolts. Don't find that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I've got quite a few years in me as a mechanic myself, and like certain braking systems will be done in the SAE, and then you have other parts of the vehicle that are metric, and you're like, son of a, I need the 3/8. I can't do this with an 8 mil.
Exactly.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Definitely don't convert over to imperial from metric on fuel lines either,
Oh, really?
because that will leak on you.
Yeah. You know, I can imagine. When it comes to anything, I think with seals or any sort of, well, yeah, any sort of seal, any kind of like tight system, you don't want to have any gaps or.
They're engineered with certain tolerances, and you can't exceed those.
Yeah. For sure. I like that it staged us to this turning lane. It was kind of weird to do it there, but it was funny because it knows we got to take a left, so I got into the left side, but I don't know, you could have kind of done that up here.
Yeah.
Too strange. Yeah, we're clear of that.
Does it ever see an object that it doesn't need to avoid but thinks it needs to and brakes super hard?
It doesn't do that quite as often these days, but it used to really bad. Or even just because its tolerance for safety around pedestrians is so high that you could have somebody not even crossing your path, but just kind of like walking along the side, and the car would periodically go, oh shit, like person, they might randomly end up in front of us.
Yeah,
Stop.
Exactly. And then you get rear-ended by the guy behind you.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely earned some honks in the like a year or two ago.
Right.
I mean, even now, the reason like the stop signs and such, I'll pretty much always be on the throttle, sort of pushing us through, because the regulatory crackdowns have made it to where you're essentially sitting at the stop sign for a full like 2 to 3 seconds. And if you actually think about that in practice, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's gonna get you honked at by most people, because they're like, "Yo, come on!"
That feels like eternity when it turns green.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, here we go, pedestrians. I got my foot over the brake just in case. All right, good job, good job.
Yeah, it is job.
It said, "Nope, we're gonna wait, let them go by."
So does some of the logic depend on the mapping, like knowing like there's a stop light soon and here's the speed, or is it?
A lot of that's changed, and I don't have the expertise to probably accurately describe this, but before version 12, which we're on now, it was all coded. There were heuristics with everything. Like a person was setting parameters and weights for how to recognize things. Now this is an end-to-end neural net, so it is trained on just vision, like video data. And it's a massive change in how this system has functioned. Except the highway side is still kind of coded, which is why there's that weird behavior, like when we were trying to get out of that exit lane, and I'm gonna get in front of this guy so I'm not in traffic here.
Oh, this is a fun experience.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, cool. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully not too crazy for you.
This is cool.
I just have to figure out how to get out.
Yeah, top button,
Press
just
that
push
button.
the door at the same time.
Watch the traffic.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you.
care, gentlemen. Take care. That was a fun time. I'm glad they enjoyed that. And FSD was a little less accommodating on that drive. It felt a lot more impatient and eager, like it was, I don't know, driving with a rush hour mentality. I'm glad they had fun. You know, we were safe the whole time, always watching around, always making sure that things are fine, never taking that chance. But it definitely felt a lot more aggressive on that drive compared to some of the other ones we've been on. All right. But very good. I am going to get on to the next customer. We might actually get stuck downtown a little bit. We'll see how this goes. That is a failure, though. You guys saw it. And the way it goes around, like, it's just, that highway entrance will be a problem. Basically, any trip that's going to go that route, that's going to be a failure, unless, I don't know, I can get ahead and like maybe set the course to be a little differently, but that's me kind of intervening. I would love to know everyone's feedback on what they think. One of my mindsets is that if there is a failure condition that is a repeatable reproducible failure condition that's going to happen, I don't necessarily want to put the system in that situation, because there's no redemption. There's no chance of it correcting itself or doing it right until we do get likely a point release or something. So because of that, I don't like to count future trips that go through those scenarios as robotaxis, either for positive or negative. They're just not there at all. They're just in the open air, like they never happened, rather than counting it to the negative unnecessarily, because you know it's going to fail and you're setting it up for failure. And that, I think, can misrepresent the data when you're trying to get a true grasp of how it does day to day with all the trips. I hope that made sense. Let me know what you think. I'm sure there might be some conflicting views on that, because I am not trying to milk the system in a positive way, but nor am I trying to make it look like it's worse than it is by actually logging those as fails every single time. So, something to keep in mind.